Okay, this is my attempt for helping you navigate your way through your first IEP. And you can use it for additional IEPs if you need to. Me and Miss Peterson are here to answer any questions that you have. You can email me at any time. I'll give you my contact information, and you can text me almost any time of day or night. So, these are things that you're going to need before you start the IEP. You need the student's current IEP. You need their current psychological from their SPED file in the counseling office. If you let Miss Whaley know, she'll pull this for you, and all you have to do, I like to make a copy, so you can make a copy and then put their file back. You need their milestone scores from their main file in the counseling office. Miss Whaley will also pull these for you and make copies if you let her know, and then she'll put them in your box or get them to you. You need the students' MAP scores, their data collection sheets that you've collected, work samples, completed teacher questionnaire, and I'll send you a copy of that. I'll send you a copy of all these documents so you'll have them, and their current grades. Let me show you what a copy of the teacher questionnaire looks like. This is one that I sent to my students' teachers, and I send this to all their teachers. It gives me some information that I wouldn't know because I'm not in the classroom. So the teacher would fill this out and get it back to you, and you can compile the information. All right, so I'm going to Infinite Campus and log in. For privacy reasons, I'm going to try to keep most of this private and generic, but I want to show you how to pull up a student. Okay, I'm going to go to Students, and I'm going to search for one that I know is on my caseload. Okay, so I searched and brought him up, and there he is. But that's not the screen I need. This is the summary. Okay, and I need to go to Special Ed and click on the General tab. This looks a little bit different. Go to the Document tab, and we're going to start a new IEP. Now, I have taken his name and student number, birth date, and everything off of here so you can't see it. And I'm going to keep the information general. This doesn't apply to him. I'm just going to use this as a document. All right, so when you say create a new document, these 4 items come up. This is if you're doing a re-eval or a new evaluation. Create new plan, create new progress report, which we will not use, or create a new simple form. And we are going to create a new plan. All right, this should say 17-18 annual IEP because that is the school year we're in. We're going to click that. This one, annual IEP with transition plan, this would be if the student is in 8th grade. We have to complete a transition plan for all 8th graders going to 9th grade, but we're going to pretend like this student is a 6th or 7th grader. Let's pretend like he's a 7th grader. Okay, we're going to create document. All right, the first thing it says, what is the reason for this meeting? And it has a drop down, and we're going to click annual review. Anytime your document has a drop down menu, it's good to use the drop down menu and pick something from there. If you type over it, sometimes it shows up as a mistake. So if it has a drop down menu, use that. Okay, our meeting date, we're going to pretend like it is August the 1st, 2017. I think that's a weekend, so I won't be here, but that's the date we're going to use. All right, and then when you put that in, it creates the rest of these dates. The date the new IEP is going to take place is the date of the meeting, August 1st, 2017, and then this IEP will end the day before this meeting date a year from now. So the date is 7/31/2018. His most recent eligibility date, I'm going to get that off of their current IEP, And I'm just going to pretend like it is July the 28th, 2016. Okay. All right, homeschool. Most of our students, this is their homeschool where they're districted for. Some of our students are outside of the district. So if they are going, if they're districted for another school, and I get this information off the current IEP, you would click that, but we're going to pretend like this student is districted for Ola Middle, and of course his service school, where he's at, is Ola Middle. It'll always be Ola Middle. Report of student progress reports. This has a drop-down menu, so let's just click on that. And it puts that in there for you, okay? So we've done everything we can do on this first page that's called the education plan. Save and continue, okay? The next page we have is the special ed information, and we're just going to click on Get Special Ed Status from Enrollment. And it tells me that this student area of exceptionality is autism. Okay, if they have more than one area of exceptionality, it will not create those for you. It just creates the first one. So his eligibility date was 7/28 is what we said on the other page. Okay, so we're going to click that. And then his reevaluation date is 3 years, always 3 years from this date. So 7/28/2019. All right, so we're going to pretend like this student has speech, and I would know that from his current IEP, and his eligibility date and reeval date will be the same as for his first eligibility. Okay, so that's all you do for that page. We are going to save and continue. The next page is the student demographics. We just refresh that. Make sure you do that. Save and continue. The next page is parent information. We're going to refresh that. Save and continue. All right, this is the part of the IEP that I think is the most difficult. It's definitely the most time consuming. So, for time purposes, I have created this in a Word document so I could copy and paste and show you. All of the stuff in here needs to be in here in a certain order. This is where you're going to use the psychological that you pulled. The psychological is usually several pages, maybe 10, 12, 15. But in the back it has a review of everything. That is what I use to get information that I need from there. Okay, so I said for time purposes I have already created this. And I have this in a document I will send you, so you will have some of the verbiage. Okay, so I'm just going to copy what I have previously generated in another document. When you do this, by the way, if you do this, it comes up and sometimes it looks a little crazy. All right, but you start off, student is currently receiving. I have put student in here, but you want to use their name and make this personal towards them. So the student is currently receiving special education services under autism and speech and language. Okay. And you would put their exceptionalities here. Okay. The student's last psychoeducation evaluation was in October of 2011. and you would get that right off of their psychological that you have. All right, this is where you are going to type the review or a summary of all the tests and stuff that they had. Okay, you're going to want to pay close attention to what it says their weaknesses are and what their strengths are. And right in the report it says that his or her strengths were in nonverbal reasoning. I'm going to want to remember that because I have a weakness and a strength section that I have to put something into. So all of this is found in the summary. Type it just as you see it. Okay. Okay. So down to there is their psychological. All right, then the next area that we go over is the milestones grades. Once again, I have all this verbiage. This is the breakdown for 6th grade. So there's one for 7th and 8th, but I just copy and paste this from my verbiage sheet. Okay, make sure that it looks right. But this is the same we use on every one. All right, so then I break their scores down, and you have a copy of those. So you're going to first look at language arts. I think that's the first one that shows up. All right, make sure instead of student you put their name. Okay, and this student scored a 481 on language arts, which was in the developing learner range too. And then we put this little verbiage in here as a developing learner. Student demonstrated partial proficiency in the knowledge and skills at this grade level. He or she may need additional academic help or support. Okay. And then you do that for each and every test they took. All right, then the next thing you're going to do is their MAP scores. Once again, this is common verbiage, and you put that in there, and then put the scores of their test. If it's towards the end of the year and they've taken it in fall and winter, you'll want to put all of the scores in there so you can see growth. Sorry about that. Phone's ringing. Then you don't discuss strengths or weaknesses in this area. You discuss strengths and weaknesses in the next. And the first one is strengths. So I'm going to go back to my verbiage. Okay. For strengths and weakness. This is for strengths. Okay. All right, so then I'm going to look for the strengths in each thing. The first area that I'm going to look for strengths in is their psychological. Like I said, note anything in there. So it said that the student performed best in nonverbal reasoning, and that's what I'm going to put. Okay. Goals, this is on our data collection sheets that I told you needed. He or she has performed best in self-advocacy. So that is their strength in that one. Milestones, you pick the area that he performed best in milestones and review that. And the next, measures of academic progress, you pick which one he performed best in that. Review that. And then fall, this is his grades for fall. All right, and then as you've seen on the first page, the student had speech, so the speech therapist would put their little blurb in here, what he's progressed on and what he didn't. And then for weaknesses, we're going to follow the same guideline. Okay. try to keep it where you have more positives than you have negatives. That'll make you friends with the parents. And once again,